In this module, we'll learn about entering text and tables in our AutoCAD drawing, and I'll start with the single line text. So in order to make a single line text, you need to go to the Annotate tab, and from here you need to select the single line text from the text panel. So when you expand this flyout, you'll see this single line text option on the text panel. So you can start the single line text tool from this flyout, or you can also use its command equivalent, which is text. So I'll start it from here. And now you need to specify a start point for your text. So I'll click anywhere in the drawing area. That will be the starting point for my text. Now look at the command line, and it now prompts you to specify the height of text. In this case, the default height of text is 2.5 as shown in this angle bracket. So I'll accept this default value. So simply press enter. And now the command line will change to the rotation angle, and we need to specify the rotation angle in which we want to make the text, which I will obviously keep at 0. So I'll press enter and it will take the default value of 0. Now here we have this blinking cursor, and we can now enter our text. So for this case, I'll type AutoCAD 2018, and here we have this text. In order to exit this single line text command, press enter twice. And here we have it. So now the text is present here. In a similar way, you can add more lines of this single line text. So I'll once again select the single line. I'll click anywhere in the drawing area, but this time instead of selecting the default value, I'll click in the drawing area to specify the height. So you can click anywhere in the drawing area and that will be the height of your text. So let's click on this point. So the height will be approximately equal to 1.6 units. And we'll change rotation angle to 30 degrees and press enter. Now you can see that the text will be inclined to an angle of 30 degrees. So let's type the text. Okay, and here we have it. So you can press enter once to add more lines to this single line text, and once again press enter twice to exit this command. And here we have it. So these are all single line texts. Now if you want to modify any of these text entities, you can do that simply by double clicking. So I'll just erase both of these texts, and here I'll modify this text. So I'll double click on this, and now you'll see the same edit text window. Here select the text which you want to modify. In this case, I want to modify this CAD, and I'll change it to uppercase. And once you have modified the text, you can simply click outside to exit this, or obviously you can press enter key twice. All of these properties of single line text can also be modified with the properties palette. So select the text, then right click and select properties. So that will take you to the property palette, and using this property palette, you can obviously modify most of the properties related to this single line text. So here we have the general tab, the 3D visualization, and the most important text tab, which can be used to modify its properties. So currently we can see that the height of text is 2.5. Let's change this value, and I'll change it to 4 and press enter. And here we have it. The height of text is changed. Also, we have a width factor that will decide the width in which the text has been made. So I'll change this width factor to 0.5, and the complete text will be fitted in the half length value. And here it is. In a similar way, you can add an obliquing angle, and that will make this text look like italics. So I'll change it to 20 degrees. Here we have it, the oblique text. And in a similar way, you can change most of the other properties. So with these changes, I'll close this properties palette, and here we have this text. So this was all about creating single line text in AutoCAD. In this video, I will tell you about creating the text styles. So in the previous video, we learned about creating single line text, and the single line text used the default text style, but you can create your own text style just like the dimension and leader styles. So in order to create your own text style, go to this text panel on the Annotate tab and click on this drop down. So on this drop down, you'll see all the text style which are present in the drawing. In this case, we have the annotative and standard text style, and the standard text style is now active. So that's the default text style. So I'll click on this manage text styles, and this will open this text style window. Here also we have the annotative and standard, and we'll add a new text style. So let's click on this new and let's give it a name. So I'll name it as my text and click on OK. So here we have it, my text style. Now we need to change some properties here, and I'll start with the font. So currently you can see that txt.shx or the shape font has been selected here, but you can select from any of these fonts. So here you'll see this TT symbol, which is for true type font, and also this symbol which indicates the shape font. So you can select between any of these fonts from the list, for example Arial, and you'll be able to see the preview here. But I prefer using the shape font, so I'll scroll it down here and I'll select this font, simplex.shx. Now if you want to make this text annotative, you can click on this checkbox, and we'll obviously learn more about annotative in the upcoming videos. Here we have an option of height, and if you change the value of this height, it will take that value. Otherwise, the height value which was used in this template or the height value which was used in the previous case will be used if you keep this as 0.00. So I'll keep this as 0.00 to use the height value which is used in the template. Also, we have some of the effects associated with the text, for example upside down. So you can make text upside down by checking this box. We have this option of backwards and vertical. So this vertical option will only be available with some of the shape fonts, but it will not be available for true type fonts. So you won't find this option for true type fonts, it will be deactivated. And even with shape fonts, not all the shape fonts support this vertical effect format. So you need to ensure that you select the appropriate font in order to have this vertical option active. We also have a width factor which can be used to change the overall width of the text. So here I can change the width factor to, let's say, 0.7, and the complete text will be fitted in the 70% area of the original text. So if you want to increase the width factor, you can change it to 1.2 and the text will expand. So I'll keep it at 1. We don't want to expand or shrink the text either. And here we have the oblique angle that can be used to add an obliquing angle that will look like an italics text. So I'll change it to 30 to show a preview, and here we have it. So once again, I'll change it to 0. Now we have all of these text settings. Let's now click on set current. So let's select yes. And now the same text, my text, will be set as the current text style, and you can see it here also. So here we have this current text style as my text. Now you can click on apply if it is not selected and click on close. So now the currently active text style is my text, and all of the text will be made with this text style. So let's make the single line text once again. So this time I'll select the text command and now press enter. And now you can see that we have an option of justify and style. So you can select this style option, and you can select the text style from the command line. So currently we have this my text style activated. If you want to change it to standard, you can type that as well here. So I'll type standard and press enter. So now our current text style has been changed, and you can make your single line text here with the standard text style. And here we have it. In order to make the text using my text, select the my text from here. Once again, you can select the text tool from the flyout or from the command line, and here we have it. Now this text is taking my style, text style, and here we have it, the text style with simplex font. So that was all about creating text style in AutoCAD. In this video, I will tell you about the multi-line text tool of AutoCAD, and multi-line text tool can be used in situations where we want more control over the text properties. So you can use this multi-line text from this flyout. So when you click on this flyout on the annotate tab text panel, you'll see this multi-line text option. So you can select it from here, or you can use its command equivalent mtext. So now when you select the multi-line text tool, the command line will prompt you to specify the first corner point of the bounding box of text. So select any point that will be the first point and click anywhere in the drawing area. So that will be the second point of bounding box, and this blinking cursor will appear with a text box. In this text box you can enter your text, and also you can modify its properties with this text editor tab. So this text editor tab will be available as long as you have this mtext command active. So now let's type our text here. So I'll type AutoCAD 2018, and now as you can see that the text moved to the second line, which we don't want. So in that case we can increase the size of this ruler. So we can change this width just like this, and here we have it. Now if you want to add more lines to this text, you can do that as well. So I'll type software, and now here we have it. So in order to exit this text box, click outside, and here we have it, the complete text. Now if you want to modify this multi-line text, simply double click on it, and here we have it. Now we have the complete text selected. So that's one of the difference between a single line and multi-line text. In case of single line text, we were able to modify the text in single line only, but in this case if you select any piece of text which has been made with the multi-line tool, the complete piece of text will be selected. So you can create more text using multi-line and they will be separately selected. So I'll double click on this, and now we have all the text related tools which are very much similar to the text tool which you will find on simple text processing softwares like MS Word. Now the first panel here is the style, and from here you can choose the style for your text. So here we have these three styles, and you can select between any of these styles for your text. So I'll keep this my text style active, and now we have this height. So in order to change the height of this text, select the text which you want to change or modify. Now change its height from here, and here we have it. So now the height of this 2018 text has been changed. In order to change it back, select it and change the height value. We also have multiple options like underline, overline, strike through, and you can add it just like this. So I'll remove all of these. And we also have an option of superscript and subscript. So for that, let's say that we want to add 8 as superscript. So I'll select this 8 and now click on this superscript. And here we have it. The 8 text has been added as a superscript. In order to see it clearly, I'll just press enter, and here we have it. Now if you want to add this 8 text as subscript, select it and click on the subscript box. Here we have it. Now let's select it and click on this subscript once again to return it back to the normal condition. And now if you want to stack the text, you can do that as well. For example, in this case, let's say that we want to stack this text 1 by 2. So for that, select the complete text and select the stack option. And here we have it. The text has been stacked. To return it back, select it again and click on it once again. In this video, I will tell you about creating and formatting table in AutoCAD. So we can start table from this tables panel of Annotate tab. So when you click on this tables panel, you'll see all the tools which are related to table. So you can use this table icon, or you can also use its command equivalent table. So when you click on the table tool or when you select the table command, you'll see this insert table window. Now in this insert table window, you'll see the standard table style which will always be present in your drawing, and you can add as many styles as possible. So that we'll learn in the next video. For now we have this standard table style. Now I will leave rest of the options at their default, and now let's go to this insertion behavior. In this case, let's select this specify insertion point option. Now you can specify number of columns, number of rows, the width of column and row height. So in this case, I'll change number of columns to 3, which it is, and number of rows to 7. If you don't have these values, change it to that, and we'll change the column width to 63.5 and row height to 1 unit. Now I'll not change any property in the cell styles and click on OK. Now we have this table here. Let's click and the table has been added in this drawing area. So this is one way of making the table. Let's go to the table tool again and we'll create the same table but with a slightly different approach. So I'll go to table and now I'll select specify window. I'll keep rest of the options at their default. Now we have number of columns and rows active, but in this case column width and row height is deactivated. So you can change it to any other value. For example, here if you change it to row height, number of row value will be deactivated. So you can keep any of these two options active. For this case, I'll select number of rows and number of columns, and I'll change it to 3 and 7, and now click on OK. So in this case, we have a perfectly customizable table. So I'll click at the first point and now I can decide the width and height of this complete table. So I'll click here and here we have it. The table has been added. So let's remove this table. And now I'll look at this one. So in this case, we have this table and it will behave just like the MS Excel table. So if you are familiar with Microsoft Excel tables, you will find it pretty easy to work with. In this case, if you click on any of the cell, you'll notice that we'll have this table cell option with all the table formatting tools which are generally available in the Microsoft Excel as well. And when you click the complete table, simply by selecting them with the crossing or selection window, you'll see these grips which can be used to modify the size. For example, you can click on this grip and change the length. Also, you can click on this grip and change the height. You can even resize these cells like this. So now I'll press escape key and I'll modify the properties here. So I'll start with the first cell here. Now if you want to enter any text in this, simply select it and now type your text. So I'll type Mark's statement and here we have the text. Now click outside to accept the text value. Now in this case, I'll add a text here. So I'll type the serial number. Let's type 1 here and let's type 2 here. So now we have added these two. In order to add rest of the values, you don't need to add all of these values. You can simply select both of these text and now select this grip and simply drag it down and it will add all the remaining text values. So it will intelligently find out the pattern in which you are adding this text information, and here we have the order 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Click outside and here we have it. Currently you can see that the justification of all of these text is not proper. It's aligned at the top right. So I'll change it. So for that, I'll select all of these cells and now go to the cell styles, and here we have this top right justification. Let's change it to middle center, and we have these text at the middle center of all of these cells. Now if you want to add or remove more cells, you can do that as well. For example, I'll select this cell, and now if you want to add a complete row or a column, you can do that. So here we have this insert above, insert below in rows. So I'll select insert below and we have a new row here. If you want to delete any of these rows, simply click here and the row will be deleted. Similarly, you can add more columns. So I'll click on this cell and now I'll select insert right, and a new cell has been inserted in the right. If you want to delete, simply select delete column and the complete column will be deleted. If you want to change the background color of these cells, you can do that as well. So I'll select this marks statement cell, and now here we have the color which we can apply here. So in this case, let's select this color and here we have it. The color has been applied to the cell. If you want to merge cells, you can do that as well. So in this case, let's say that we want to merge both of these cells. For that, I'll select both of them. And now here in the merge panel, select this merge all. And both of these cells will be merged into a single cell, just like this. Now, if you want to avoid accidental change of information in any of these cells, you can do that as well. So you can do that simply by locking the cells. And to lock the cells, select it and then go to this cell format panel, and from here select the cell. So you can select only the content or format or both. So in this case, I'll select content as well as format, and the complete cell has been locked. And when you move your cursor, you'll see this lock icon. In order to unlock it again, simply select it and go to unlocked option, and here we have it. So in this way, you can create and modify most of the properties in this AutoCAD table. In this video, I will tell you about creating table styles in AutoCAD. So in order to make table styles, once again, I'll go to the tables panel, and from here, I'll select this drop down. And now here you'll see the standard table style which is already present. To add more table styles, click on this manage table styles, and this will open this table style window. From here, once again, I'll select new, just like the text and dimension style, and I'll give it a name. So I'll name it as my style, and now click on continue. And here we have it, new table style window. So in this case, we can modify most of the properties of this table to create a completely new table. Now we have the first drop down here, in which we can select the cell which we want to modify. So we can select the data, header or title. So let's start with the title, which is the first cell. And we have the properties, the general properties like the fill color, which will be, let's say, red in this case. And we have the alignment, which is middle center. We don't want to change it. Also, if you want to change it to label or something else, you can do that, or you can change the margins. We are not going to change any of these values. Now I'll go to text, and here you can change the text style. So currently we have this standard and annotative text style. So if you have your own custom text style, you can change it from there. Or if you want to create a new text style, you can click on this box and create a new text style here, and you can add that as well. For this case, I'll keep it at standard. Also, if you want to select the text height, you can do that, and you can change the text color and the obliquing angle of your text. We have the borders option here, which can be used to change the border pattern of this title box. So in this case, the first thing is line weight. You can change it to anything else which you want, and obviously you can change the line type also. So in this list, we only have these three line types which are quite same. If you want to add more, select other, and you can now load the line types from this list. So I'll simply select the default line type. I'll not change it here. And also, if you want to change the color of these borders, you can do that from this drop down. So I'll simply keep it at bilayer. Now, if you want to change the type of border, you can change it from here. So I'll change it to this type of border, and here we have it. So you can modify most of the properties in this. Now let's move to data. And now all of these properties will be modified for the data. So I'll once again change the fill color, and I'll change it to blue. And you can see the change here. Now I'll go to text, and if you want to change the text color, you can do that from here. Let's change it to yellow, and here we have the changed text color. Also, you can go to borders, and if you want to apply a different type of border here, you can do that. So I'll change the color of this border to green. And now I'll select this border style, and you can see that green color has been applied to all of these borders. If you want, you can change the line weight also. For example, let's change it to 0.3, and we already have it. So now we have our table prepared. Let's click on OK, and let's click on close. So now our table has been prepared. Now if you add a new table, it will be added with that table style if you have selected it in this drop down. So here we have this my style. I'll keep it checked, and now I'll select table, and with the default values I'll simply click OK, and I'll add it. And here we have it. The table has been added with our own properties. Now in this case, you cannot see the line weight because the line weight display has been off. So click on this line weight display and you'll be able to see the line weight in this table as well. So I'll keep it off once again to see it more clearly. So this was all about creating your own table style in AutoCAD. In this video, I will tell you about adding fields and formulas in our AutoCAD table. So here we have a simple AutoCAD table with mark statement of 7 students, and we'll use this table in our example. So I'll start with the field. So using fields, you can add intelligent information in AutoCAD, and those informations are updated automatically. So in this case, I'll add the file name, which is a student score, in this cell here. So I'll select the cell, and now as soon as you'll select the cell, you'll notice this table cell tab which has this field option. So now from this insert panel, select this field, and this will open this field window. From here, go to the field name drop down and select file name, and now select the format. So I'll select uppercase format, and I'll select file name only radio button. Now also make sure that this display file extension is unchecked. We don't want the file extension, and you can see the final preview here. So we have the preview here. Let's click on OK, and now we have the field here. You can see it quite clearly, student score. So although the field will appear with this gray background, but when you'll plot your drawing, the gray background will not remain visible, and this gray background has been added only to identify this field from rest of the text. Now in this case, you can clearly see that the field mentions student score here. So you can see that it's written as a student score. Now if you change the file name, the field will change automatically. So in this case, we have the student score. Let's change it. So I'll change the file name. So I'll click on save as. I'll specify desktop as the location, and now I'll add card as a new text, and let's click on save again, and let's look at the field, and here we have a new field, student scorecard. So in this way it is automatically updated, and we don't need to manually change the value here. And if for some reasons you are not able to update these fields, then you can use REA command to regenerate the complete drawing, and the fields will be updated. Now let's move to the formulas. So in this case, we can also use the formulas just like Excel, and using the formulas you can add the information here. So in this case, let's say that we want to add total marks of all of these students in this cell. For that, I'll select the cell and I'll go to formula. Now obviously we need to add the sum of all of these marks. So I'll select sum, and now click on the first cell from where you want to start calculation, and the last cell. So we want a sum of all of these cells, and here we have it. Now click outside, and we have the result here as a field. So in this case, you can see that the complete value is 504. Now this is also a field as indicated by the gray background, and if you change any of these values, the field will update. So in this case, we have 504. Let's change any of these values. So I'll change this text. So we have 46 here. Let's change it to 56. Now click outside, and let's look at the field. Now we have 514 instead of 504. So the field is automatically updated. And in this case also, if your field did not update it, you can use REA command to update it manually. Now here we have an average marks. Let's add that also. So I'll select the cell. Now I'll go to formula and I'll select average. Once again, I'll click on the first cell and the last cell, and the average formula has been added. Click outside, and we have the average value here, accurate up to the decimal points which is specified in the current template. So we have the average 73.428571. So that was all about adding fields and formulas in our AutoCAD table. In this video, I will tell you about importing and exporting table from AutoCAD to MS Excel. So here we have this table which we have made in the previous lesson, and we will simply export it as an Excel file. So for exporting it, I'll select the table and then right click and select this export option from the contextual menu. Now specify the location where you want to save it. In this case, I'll save it on the desktop, and you can see the file type which is CSV here. Now give it a name. I'll name it as table1, the default name, and click on save. And the table has been saved on the desktop. So let's go to the desktop, and here we have this table1. Let's open it. And here we have it. So now you can see that we have the table. Obviously the formatting has not been retained, but all the information which is contained in the table can be seen here as well. So you can again add the formatting to this table. So let's now close it and move back to our AutoCAD drawing. So in this case, we have exported this table, but you can also import any table from Excel to AutoCAD. So we'll do that as well. So I'll move it here, and now I'll import a new table. To import it, I'll select this tables drop down and I'll select this table option. Now here we have an option of from a data link. So I'll select this from a data link option, and you'll notice that all the remaining options will become deactivated. Now click on this box and select create a new Excel data link. Now give this table name. So I'll name it as our test table, and I'll click on OK. Now I'll browse for files. So click on this box and browse for files. So I'll go to desktop, and here we have a test table. So I've created this test table already in MS Excel. Now I'll select it, click on open, and now you'll be able to see the preview here. So click on OK, and in this window also click on OK, and once again click on OK, and now click anywhere in the drawing area to place the table, and here we have it. The table has been added. Now this table is linked with the original table which we have on the desktop. So if any of the information on the original table is changed, the table here will update itself. So here let's have a look at this table. In this case, we can see that this last cell has 456. So let's change this value in the original table. So I'll go to this original table, test table on the desktop, and now you can see that here we have this 456. So let's change this value and let's change it to 500. Okay, and now let's save it, and I'll close it. Now I'll go back to AutoCAD, and here we have a new bubble which indicates that the information in our linked table has been changed. So I'll click on this link to update the information and closely look at this cell. Here we have this 456. Let's click here, and here we have it. The new information has been added. So in this way, the table has been updated directly from the data link which is present on the desktop here in this test table. So in this way, you can import as well as export a table from AutoCAD to Excel file. So here is our question related to this module. We need to make a text style in AutoCAD with name, my text, and ensure that simplex.shx font is selected for making this text style. Also, keep the height and rest of the settings at their default, and write a simple text using single line as well as multi-line text. So I'll start with the text style, and for that I'll go to this annotation panel, expand it, and here we have the text option. So you can click on this text option, or you can also go to this flyout and select manage text styles. Now here we have annotative as well as a standard, but we need to add our own text style. So I'll click on new and give it name. So the name should be my text, and click on OK. So my text is now selected. We need to change this font to simplex. So let's type S here, and we have this simplex shape font, simplex.shx, that's selected. Now I'll keep rest of the settings unchanged, click on apply, and click on close. Now we need to make the text. So I'll go to this annotation panel and select multi-line text. Make a box and let's type our text. So I'll type AutoCAD 2018. And now in this case, you need to ensure that my text is selected. So you can see here, my text is the default text and it's using the simplex font, as you can see here also. Now simply click on close text editor and there we have it. So we have this multi-line text using the default text style. Now let's move back here. And in this case, I'll select single line text. Now click at a point and specify any height. So I'll simply press enter to accept the default height and press enter again to accept the default rotation angle. Now let's type the text. So it should be AutoCAD 2018 and press enter twice. So once again, we have the text with the default text style because we have set this my text here in this drop down. So it will take the properties of this text style. And here we have the single line text as per our requirement.